Have you noticed the phenomenon? Why does everyone around you work harder the harder you work? Why do you sign your child up for tutoring classes and then everyone else's children sign up too? Why does everyone in your company stay late at the office and you feel anxious if you leave on time? This isn't coincidence, and it's not because you're not smart enough. Behind all of this lies a theory that changed our understanding of human decision-making: game theory. Today, we're going to completely decode one question. Why do smart people make stupid decisions? Why is cooperation obviously beneficial for everyone, yet so hard to achieve? The answer lies in game theory. And when we combine game theory with Duan Yongping's Benfin philosophy and Lu Fei's Renchuan Tiangshuan theory, we discover something profound. Life itself is an infinite game. What is game theory? Game theory is the mathematical study of how rational agents make optimal decisions in interactive situations. It sounds academic, but it's all around you. Imagine this scenario. You and your colleague both submit reports to your boss. If you submit one day earlier, your boss might think you're proactive. If you submit one day later, they might think you're unreliable. Your choice depends on your expectation of your colleague's behavior. Will they submit early or late? If they know you'll submit early, they might also submit early to avoid falling behind. In the end, both submit early. Everyone works harder, but the reward doesn't increase. This is a classic prisoner's dilemma. The core question of game theory can be stated in one sentence. When your payoff depends on others' choices, how do you decide? This seemingly simple question reveals the underlying logic of human society. Whether it's business, competition, workplace promotion, marriage relationships, or international politics, essentially all of these are games. Players, strategies, and payoffs. Game theory has three basic elements: players, strategies, and payoffs. Players are the decision makers, individuals, companies, or nations. Strategies are the behavioral options available to each player. Payoffs are the outcomes resulting from strategy combinations, usually represented numerically. Take rock, paper, scissors as an example. Two players, each with three strategies: rock, paper, scissors, and a payoff matrix showing win-loss outcomes for each combination. This is a zero-sum game. One player's gain equals the other's loss. But in reality, most games are non-zero-sum. Consider a price war. Two companies can choose to maintain high prices or cut prices. If both maintain high prices, each earns 500,000. If one cuts prices while the other maintains, the one cutting earns 800,000 while the other loses 100,000. If both cut prices, each loses 50,000. Here, cutting prices is a strictly dominant strategy. It's better, regardless of what the other does. The Nash equilibrium is for both to cut prices, each losing 50,000. This is the classic dilemma where individual rationality leads to collective irrationality. What is Nash equilibrium? Nash equilibrium is the most fundamental concept in game theory. It refers to a state where, given that all other participants have chosen their strategies, no participant wants to unilaterally change their own strategy. In plain language, everyone's choice is the best response to everyone else's choice. In the price war example, cut. Cut is the Nash equilibrium, because if the other cuts, you're better off cutting too. If the other doesn't cut, you're still better off cutting. So neither side has an incentive to change strategy unilaterally. But here's the paradox. Nash equilibrium doesn't necessarily mean the Pareto optimum. That is, the equilibrium outcome isn't necessarily the best for everyone. The prisoner's dilemma is the most typical example. Both confessing is the optimal strategy, but the result is both get 5 years, whereas if both remain silent, each would only serve 1 year. Case analysis. The essence of involution. Now, let's analyze a phenomenon many people experience. The term involution is popular recently, but essentially it's the macro-level manifestation of the prisoner's dilemma. Workplace involution. Suppose there are 2 employees, A and B. Their strategies are to work overtime or not. If neither works overtime, work efficiency is normal and life is balanced. If one works overtime and the other doesn't, the one who works overtime gets promoted while the other is marginalized. If both work overtime, the company's workload increases. But there's only one promotion slot. Everyone is more tired, but opportunities haven't changed. Payoff matrix. B works overtime, B doesn't work overtime. A works overtime, 55, 510. A doesn't work overtime, 10500. The Nash equilibrium is both working overtime, resulting in 55, but this isn't Pareto optimal. If neither worked overtime, both would get 0, which is actually worse. But if A unilaterally decides not to work overtime, B will seize the opportunity to work overtime and get promoted, leaving A was released. So nobody dares to exit first, and everyone keeps spinning their wheels. Educational involution. The same logic applies to education. Parents enroll their children in tutoring classes because they fear their child will fall behind if others enroll. But if all children stopped attending tutoring classes, rankings wouldn't change and everyone would be more relaxed. The problem is, no parent dares to be the first to quit. Solutions. 1. Establish repeated interaction mechanisms. If you'll interact long-term, cooperation has value and betrayal carries consequences. To introduce third-party constraints. For example, schools stipulating no excessive homework, reducing involution from institutional level. 3. Change payoff structures. Make cooperation more profitable than competition, such as team-based performance reviews. 4. Increase the cost of betrayal. Make those who escalate first pay a price, such as public pressure. Ming Zhao says, "There is no love or hatred without reason. Behind all behavior lies interest-driven motivation." Understanding this, you can see why involution never stops, and you can find entry points to break through. Next episode, we'll dive deep into Nash equilibrium, the story of the mad genius who changed economics. If you're experiencing involution or feeling confused about relationships around you, remember to subscribe. I'm Ming. See you next time.